Right, hello and welcome. Today we're looking at the Panasonic Real 3DO Interactive Multiplayer FZ-1. What a mouthful. Anyway, this one is the Japanese version of the console. Came out in 1993, the first 32-bit gaming console, I believe. So this one does work. It's got a bit of an issue with the button here, but that's going to be easy, just a realignment. But what I wanted to do was get into this and check the capacitors. So the unit hasn't been used for a little while now. I've been reading up about looking after older consoles and what to look for and what to check. One of the things they mentioned for most of these kind of generation of consoles now is capacitors. So capacitors will leak over time. They're not designed for 30 plus years of use. So I want to get into this thing and check that none of these capacitors in here are leaking. Now, so we'll power it up. Because it is a 110 volt version of the console, I need to use a transformer. And there we go. Right, so the trays come out. I think that's because this button is not working properly. There we go. So all seems to be working, so that's great. Right, let's get into it. Now, regular viewers will no doubt be fed up hearing me say this, but my goal for this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please do hit that subscribe button. Okay, so we're going to have to take this apart a little bit more. So let's do that. So the CD mechanism has two screws at the back here. Now obviously you've got to be careful of this area here because it has been switched on. Okay, so that's us down to the main board. We might just put this under the microscope for a bit and see if we can determine if any of these capacitors are faulty. Now, I have found in the past that some capacitors, it's good to just replace them anyway. But on this occasion, unless there's something particularly that needs replaced, I'm not going to replace it. Don't fix what's not broken, basically. And we'll go through each of them in turn. I'm just looking for any bits where this bit is expanded or if there's any kind of fluid leaking from there. So far so good. Now there's quite a lot here. Those all look fine there. That looks fine. They look fine. That's okay. That's okay. Looks fine. Now this one is a little bit difficult to tell because I think it's the one that might have the tags on it. There's another one up here. Oh, there's another 3 up here actually. I think yes, that is telltale sign there. Yeah, we need to get this one off the board. Pronto. The next one down. Okay, and zoom out a bit. I think I saw on this one as well. So yeah. Oh, I wonder if that's maybe not, and it's just something to keep it on the board. Looks a bit weird, but definitely that one needs replaced. We may have just caught that in time. The other ones are fine. These may be getting affected by the heat from here, if these are generating any heat. I don't know, just a guess. I'm almost certainly won't have this, but I will likely have these two. Okay, so we need to take this board out. Just be careful, obviously. And then hopefully this board should just lift out. Woohoo. And we'll put that there, and then we'll get a shot of this. Well, that was mighty easier than I thought it was going to be. So this two, and this two. Right, let's just check the voltage on here just to make sure before we do anything. Well, there's nothing in there. Nothing there. And nothing there. Fine. We shall get these three out. We have a 6800 microfarads, 25 volts. The next one down is, looks like 1000 microfarads, 6.3 volts, and 10 microfarads, 16 volts. So I'm going to add some solder first of all. Okay, that's the first one. There we are. Okay, looking at that, we can see quite clearly that the start of that corrosion. We'll clean that up. Right, amazingly, I have managed to find the two capacitors that we need in my stock. I was quite surprised actually I managed to find this 1000 microfarad. It is 25 volts instead of, I think this one was, what, 6? Yeah, but that's fine. And this one is a 10 microfarad at 50 volts instead of, I think this one was 16. Okay, monitoring. Let's try this. So it should be 0.29. 0.39. So it is much higher. We can see that it's already starting to degrade and break down. Definitely gone. Now this one, 10 microfarads at 10 volts. 3.4, it's quite low in the capacitance as well. I think that ESR is probably within range, but again we can see that we're getting some leakage from there, so yeah, I'm not going to take the risk. Now this one's going to be the interesting one. 6800 at 25 volts. But let's see what it actually is. 0.16. Unfortunately, I don't have another one of these to test. Looking at my ESR chart would suggest that this one is out of spec, but because it doesn't seem too far out of spec, I think I'm just going to put this one back. What I am going to do is buy some new ones of these next time I make an order, and then I can compare it. If the new one is much lower than this, then obviously I'll take it out and change it. With that in mind, I think what we'll do is get these put in. We will put it back together again and then give it a test and then see if we can play a game. So just to show you, there's a little line here which marks the negative. I'm going to put both of these in at the same time. Okay, that's solar. Okay, now we've done that. Another thing I thought of doing was checking the voltage on this battery. Well past its sell by date now, I would imagine. So let's have a look. 3.1 volt, 3.2 volts even. That's perfect. It does actually look like that has been redone, but it doesn't look like they've applied something to take the residue off, so I'm going to do that. It saves me a job replacing that. If I'm honest, if I was going to have to do this, I think I would put in a replaceable one so you don't have to desolder it every time. Okay, let's see if we can do anything with these here. So you can see we've removed the bulk of it from there. I don't know, honestly, if there's any need to do this. I don't know what that stuff was on the top, but okay, so I've given them a bit of a clean up. That looks a lot better. They look okay on the other side as well, so I'm not going to do too much more to them. I'm not sure whether I need to put anything on there just to protect them at all or not. If you do know, leave a comment and I can always come back to this board at a later date. Right, the process is now in reverse. So let's get that in. And then we'll put the cable in. Okay. I did love this system. I can't remember how old I was when I had one of these, but I very much did enjoy playing it. And then, of course, the PlayStation came along, and that was the end of that. So, okay, that's the CD fitted, and then this. Okay, so we're ready to go. Just need to plug in. I've put the top back on, and we have power. We will eject. Let's put a CD in. Just make sure it plays. Ah, that familiar sound. There we are. Oh, those were the days when we waited for something to load off CD. Okay, and there it goes. Right, so we've still got the screws to put in. That's fine. I'll do that in a moment. But yeah, as you can see, it's still working with the new caps in it, and that's great. Needs a bit of a clean, but that's fine. I'm really glad I took the time to do that. It definitely felt like that was a lucky break there, because if it had been left in the cupboard for another 6 months or another year, who knows what we could have been trying to clean up. I think it's a timely reminder that these aging consoles do need a bit of attention now and then. So not really a repair today, but I hope you found it interesting nonetheless. If you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.